Hello and welcome to Annie's Short Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Shadow in the Spotlight. The Grand Theatre thrummed with electric anticipation. It was the opening night of the Crimson Curtain, a production whispered about in every corner of the city for weeks. The air hung heavy with the mingled scents of velvet upholstery, stale popcorn, and the faint musk of stage makeup. Victor Grayson, the celebrated leading man whose name alone could sell out a house, stood poised beneath the spotlight. His voice, a deep, resonant timbre, rolled over the audience like a velvet tide, each syllable dripping with the passion that had cemented his legend. The crowd sat entranced, their breaths held in unison, as he delivered a pivotal line, "To live is to burn, and I shall blaze eternal." Then chaos struck. Darkness swallowed the stage whole. The lights didn't merely dim, they extinguished with a suddenness that felt deliberate, malicious even. A collective gasp rippled through the auditorium, a sound swallowed by the void. For 3 agonizing heartbeats, silence reigned. When the lights flared back to life, a scream, shrill and roar shattered the stillness. There, center stage, lay Victor Grayson, sprawled like a marionette with its strings severed, eyes wide and unseeing, staring into an abyss no one else could fathom. The curtain had fallen, not just on the act, but on his life. Detective Holly Arnold arrived amid the pandemonium, her boots clicking against the polished floor as she navigated a sea of stunned theatergoers and frantic crew members. At 28, she was the youngest detective in her precinct, a fact that weighed on her like an ill-fitting coat. This was her first major case of proving ground. She adjusted her badge, its gleam catching the harsh glow of the stage lights, and squared her shoulders. Doubt gnawed at her edges, but she shoved it down deep. She trained for this, devoured every case file and mystery novel she could get her hands on since she was a girl dreaming of justice instead of stardom. Now the spotlight was hers not to perform, but to unravel the truth. Surveying the scene, her sharp hazel eyes catalogued everything: Victor's body, rigid and unnatural, the cast's furs and expressions, a gallery of shock and suspicion, and a faint, acrid whiff of burnt wiring lingering in the air. Something was wrong here, terribly wrong, and Holly vowed to find it. The investigation begins. Holly's first move was to secure the stage and question the witnesses. She started with Thomas Reed, the understudy, a wiry young man with a mop of dark curls and a habit of tugging at his costume's frayed cuffs. "I was backstage," he muttered, "waiting for my cue." His voice quivered, a violin string stretched too tight. Holly scribbled a note, nervous. "Hiding something." Next came the director, Margaret Voss, a woman whose stern features could have been carved from marble. She stood with arms crossed, her graying hair pulled into a severe bun. "Victor was a challenge," she said. "Brilliant, yes, but stubborn as a mule. We clashed over his improvisations, last night in fact, but murder." A shadow flickered in her eyes, brief as a candle's spatter. Holly marked it down. Then there was Isabella Cortez, Victor's ex-lover and co-star, a vision of tempestuous beauty with raven hair and tear-streaked cheeks. "He broke my heart 12 times, she choked out. "Shattered it like cheap glass, but love him, God help me, I did." Her sobs drowned the rest, though Holly caught the bitter edge beneath her grief. Motive aplenty, she thought. Mr. Jenkins, the stage manager, was a study in calm amid the storm. A portly man with a bald pate and wire-rimmed glasses, he adjusted them as he spoke. "The blackout, just a glitch. I reckon this old theatre's full of quirks, wiring's ancient." His words were smooth, rehearsed. Too smooth, perhaps. Holly's pen paused. Technical knowledge. Access. Finally, Sebastian Lyle, Victor's rival and a fellow titan of the stage, leaned against a prop table with a practiced nonchalance. "Competitors, not enemies," he drawled. "His death dims the theatre world's luster, a tragedy." His smile was polished, but his eyes were ice. Holly wrote, cold. "Calculating." Clues in the shadows. The coroner's report landed on Holly's desk the next morning, a stark confirmation of her suspicions. Victor Grayson had been electrocuted. Not a heart attack, not a fall electrocution, instantaneous and lethal. Burn marks marred his right hand, and the faint scent of scorched flesh had clung to him like a grim perfume. Holly paced the precinct's cramped office, her mind whirring. The blackout wasn't a coincidence. It was the curtain for the crime. She returned to the theater, descending into its underbelly where the special effects team worked their magic. There she found the device, a contraption meant to simulate a lightning strike in the play's climactic scene. It was a tangle of wires and metal, innocuous at a glance, designed to emit a harmless spark when Victor's character defied the heavens. But someone had altered it. The voltage had been cranked to a deadly level, turning a theatrical flourish into a murder weapon. Holly cornered Dave Whitaker, the special effects technician, in his cluttered workshop. He was a lanky figure, all elbows and grease-stained fingers, with a nervous tic that made his left eye twitch. "I checked it before the show," he insisted. "The low voltage, just a flash, standard stuff, except it wasn't. It killed him, Dave, a lethal shock, right on cue," his face blanched. "Aye, I don't know how. Maybe someone got to it after me, or maybe you rigged it," she pressed. "The who told you to do it?" "No one," he yelped. "I'd never." But his panic betrayed him, a crack in the facade. Holly knew she'd struck a nerve. A web of motives. Digging deeper, Holly unearthed a tangle of secrets. Thomas, the understudy, had lived in Victor's shadow for years, his talent overlooked, his ambition festering. Isabella's heartbreak masked a rage that could have turned vengeful. Sebastian's rivalry with Victor had cost him roles and prestige enough to push him over the edge. Margaret Voss had clashed with Victor publicly, her authority challenged. And Jenkins, with his mastery of the theater's systems, could have orchestrated the blackout with ease. But a new name emerged, Edward Harrington, the theater's producer. A wiry man with a hawkish nose and a perpetual frown, he lurked in the background, signing checks and soothing egos. Holly's inquiries revealed a bombshell: he was Victor's half-brother, estranged since their father's death a decade ago. Victor had inherited the family fortune, a sprawling estate, and millions, while Harrington got scraps. With Victor gone, the will's term shifted. Harrington stood to claim it all. Financial records painted a grim picture. Harrington was drowning in debt, gambling losses, failed investments, a theater teetering on collapse. Desperation clung to him like damp rot. Then Holly found the clincher, a bank slip buried in a drawer, showing a hefty payment to Dave Whitaker 2 days before the blackout. Her pulse quickened. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was calculated, cold. The confrontation. Holly summoned Dave back to the precinct, her voice firm. "Tell me the truth, Dave." Now he crumbled like a house of cards. "Yeah, Harrington paid me. $5,000. Said it was to scare Victor, make him quit the play. Some insurance stunt, he claimed. I didn't know it'd kill him, I swear. I didn't. Save it for the judge," Holly said. She radioed for backup and stormed Harrington's office, a plush room overlooking the stage. He sat behind his desk, papers strewn about, a glass of whiskey trembling in his hand. "Detective Arnold," he greeted. "What do I owe the pleasure? It's over, Harrington," she said. "You paid Dave to rig the device, killed your own brother for the inheritance." His mask slipped. "Well, you've got nothing." It conjectured, a hearsay. Dave confessed. "And these documents don't lie for a heartbeat." Then, with a roar, he yanked open a drawer and drew a pistol, its barrel glinting. "I won't let you take me down." Holly dove behind a chair as he fired. "Drop it," she shouted. "You're done." The door crashed open. "Back up." 2 officers tackled Harrington, wresting the gun from his grip. He thrashed, spitting curses, but the cuffs clicked shut. Cut and call. Harrington was hauled away, his schemes unraveling under the weight of evidence. Dave, a reluctant pawn, faced charges too, though his cooperation might soften the blow. The theater buzzed with the scandal, ticket sales ironically surging as the Crimson Curtain Asters became infamous. Holly stood on the stage one last time. The cast and crew gathered round. They applauded, a thunderous ovation that warmed her to her core. Her captain called later, praise laced with a hint of future assignments. She'd proven herself, carved her name into the precinct's lore. As she exited into the night, the marquee glowed above, * Victor Grayson in the crimson curtain *. "It rest easy," she murmured. Justice took the stage tonight. Holly Arnold melted into the shadows, her silhouette sharp against the city's pulse. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had a great day.